I'm gonna pull up my slide. Hold on. Share screen. Dr. Mike, let me know if we have more parents joining, okay? As for now, I only
Yeah,
see
I'll watch it and I'll admit people as I see them, Jenny.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone to our April DPAC meeting. It is now 6:03 and I officially call this meeting to order. This is the agenda for tonight. Welcoming by me, and then we're gonna have Dr. Dentona or Deputy Superintendent doing the monthly superintendent's report. And then we're gonna introduce the DPAC members for our new members in this group. And then we're gonna go through the DPAC bylaws. We were able to review it last time and share that with all our members. But today we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna update it. And if we don't meet quorum, we're gonna bring it up again next month at our DPAC meeting for consensus, to read consensus, but we're gonna go through it. And then I'm gonna give out a little CEC election update and some upcoming meetings. Catherine?
Sorry. Okay. So that we have some meeting norms that the meeting will start and end on time. There will only be one speaker at a time, and this is a safe space to speak. Try to wait 1, 2, 3, and then me. If you spoke already, allow 3 people to speak before you speak again. And we all respect each other here, be present and engaged and involved.
I'm gonna pull up the minutes from March meeting. Give me 1 second, I have to find it right here. I'm gonna scroll through it slowly. Is it big enough?
Matt, yeah, you might want to increase the size a little bit, Jenny.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna let our members read it. I'm gonna scroll through it slowly. Okay, and I'm gonna stop sharing. Can we reach a consensus on the March DPAC meeting minutes?
Are we 8 now? Can we make motion to approve?
We are not 8. Not me and Dr. Mike and Mr. Saren does not, we do not count.
Yeah, right now looks like you have 5.
Okay.
Catherine.
Okay.
Dr. Mike, that means we cannot get.
Yeah, and you'll probably have to table these to next time, but
Okay.
Getting a good thumbs up from those that are
Okay.
here too is fine as well.
All right. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Dr. Mike, you're up next.
Okay, sure. Hi, folks. Pleasure to see you guys. I'm going to go through my report, share a few of the things that did happen in April. Love shining a light on some of the exciting things that have been made available to our kids over the past month. And I'm going to dig in a little bit around just some things that you should be aware of around CEP development. Our schools are getting into that space of organizing for next year's CEP. It's really amazing to think that we're here in May. Tomorrow, May 1st. It's really wild how quickly these years tend to come and go. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I have in mind for goals going into next school year. Get a little bit of your perspective, if you're willing to share some ideas that you think that I should also be keeping in mind as we organize our own district comprehensive education plan. And that'll be that. We'll go through my portion. If you guys have any questions or recommendations, I certainly welcome them. So just a few things, updates and reminders. Briefly mentioned our focus on L's and the ELA sprints. Those are things that our kids went through this past 6 weeks across the districts. I'll mention that, and then just some DCEP goal review with each of you. Just a reminder, upcoming events. We have a virtual math workshop series comes to a conclusion on Wednesday, May 28th. That is our fourth in the series. This one's around implementing a shared curriculum. Beth Eaton from our team is going to talk to you guys a little bit around the math curriculum that has been identified as a district community that we'll be using in large part in our middle schools. And I'll talk more about that when we get to the DCEP goal. But we have identified the Amplify math curriculum. That's going to be a grade 6 to 8 program primarily. But schools that are departmentalized in the elementary school grades, we've encouraged them to do that as well. And I'll mention a little bit more of that shortly. iReady workshop session on Tuesday, June 17th. This is for all families, but certainly families that are not as equipped with managing the iReady platform. We encourage everyone that is interested to attend. We have laptops available, and we have folks from iReady that come in the event that someone's not sure what to do, how to manage it, questions that they have from it. So important resource there. And we do a similar one for Acadians for K and 1, and then we do a separate one for grade 2 as the Acadians assessment changes as the year goes on. And it's important for our parents to know what those differences are and how a child earns that either above benchmark, at benchmark, below benchmark, or well below benchmark. So it's really important information that's shared, and we encourage our families to attend if they are able. Enrollment timelines, we are past the first 4 of them, which the latest one is around summarizing those results were just shared with families last week. So we do want to make sure that our folks are aware of that, because there is a deadline for accepting. What has happened in the past is folks would put in an application and then not say anything, and then unfortunately not attend over the summer, and they would wind up taking up a seat for folks that really could have benefited from that seat. So we do ask that any family that did receive a acceptance into one of these programs, that they either accept or decline, just so that it opens up other children to other children on the wait list. May 13th, pre-K offers will be released, and Tuesday, May 20th, 3K offers will be released. We are right in the midst of testing season, as you guys know. We have gone through the ELA assessment, knock wood, without any issues to date. Our kids just finished taking paper-based part today for children in grades 3 and 7. All others are computer-based from April 22nd to May 2nd for ELA. Math begins May 6th through the 16th for grades 4, 5, 6, and 8, and paper-based May 7th and 8th. And again, those decisions are locally decided upon, whether or not it's going to be all grade levels do CBT, or they have some that have chosen to do that otherwise for their kids in grades 3 and 7. Science computer-based testing, May 13th through the 16th, and that's for grades 5 and 8. D25 had their opening bocce ceremony. This was held in the Bronx. Children from across our middle schools, and 219, which Leah, I'm happy that you're here to see this part of it, but we're really proud of being one of 4 districts that participate in the bocce league here in New York City. Children that from neurotypical children and our general population engage in sport together. It's really just an amazing experience for our kids, where they get to compete with one another. Amazing friendships, relationships are developed because of this, and that really amazing opportunity to compete with one another is really cool. So we're looking to continue to expand this over the next several years, but this is an event that did just occur in April, and it's really great work. We had our Cheer Expo in the first week of April. We have school teams from across our district participate. This was, again, another amazing event for our kids. Big shout out to our schools, coaches, district team members, and Diana Stein from our team. You're going to hear me mention her name a number of times as the next set of slides are based on the work that she does. But this was really, really well done as our kids get to showcase their skills. We had on April 9th and the 11th, that was our elementary school all-star game. This was held at Townsend Harris for one of the sites, and Bayside High School, another one, where we held our championship games and our all-star game. And on the 11th, I also had an opportunity to participate. I was part of the halftime show, and what made me realize is how out of shape I am. I only got to shoot for 1 minute, and I could not breathe afterwards. So it has encouraged me to start exercising, which I have not started yet, but it is on my mind. It is most definitely on my mind because I could not breathe after just 1 minute of shooting. Needless to say, this was a really great experience for our kids, for our coaches, and most importantly for the kids. What I really appreciate most about this is children that are not even in the same school are participating on the same court, and you just see what's been taught to them about teamwork, working together, collaboration. It's so cool to watch kids that have never played basketball with one another before get on the court and know how it is to operate as a team. So really, really great work, and looking to continue this moving forward into future years. We have 22 schools that participate across our district. This is unlike what you'd see anywhere else. And it's a testament to the work of our district principals and Diana from our team. We also had, for the very first time, a pilot girls basketball league in middle school. We did this with three middle schools. We're looking to grow this next year. But also amazing work that's happened and come from that league, allowing our young ladies the opportunity to participate in sport in this way in our middle schools is awesome. Youth leadership team. So we meet on a monthly basis with a group of kids across our district. Part of their work is actually going to be very much connected to the CEC and the wellness collaboration that we're engaging on. And this particular group of kids decided that they wanted to bring together children from across our district. So student council representatives from all of our middle schools will be going on May 20th, or I think the date's changed, on May 30th to Adelphi University. And at Adelphi University, they're going to be meeting with a former Boston Red Sox and a former New England Patriot, who's going to be talking to them about the importance of physical wellness, mental wellness, and the like. They'll also be meeting with the arts department there. It's going to be connecting with them with the arts, kind of really talking about the whole child. And the goal of that is that from that, student council representatives do have to come back to their school to kind of talk about how they're going to be connecting with their peers across the building around the importance of wellness, to really continue to bolster this mindset around the importance of. We know that when things come from kids, it tends to hit home a bit more than when it's just from the adults. So that will be happening real soon. Really excited about that. I've also been fortunate to receive some arts funding, which doesn't always happen with the district. We usually goes to the schools. But I did receive some money, and because of that, we have a number of things that I've been able to secure with Flushing Town Hall, the Arts Connection Studio in a School, and Broadway show tickets for students and families and buildings to experience. So I've been able to secure 2 community arts days that will happen, Chinese dance and musical assemblies from Flushing Town Hall, Mexican dance assembly, Colombian music assembly, Chinese juggling assembly, Western African dance and drumming assembly. We have a China Patterns dance assembly that's going to be taking place in collaboration with Arts Connection. Kids are going to have an opportunity to go to Betty Boop, Operation Mincemeat, Buena Vista Social Club, and Aladdin. So the first three, the Betty Boop, Operation Mincemeat, and Buena Vista, I put our schools into a spinny wheel, and the wheel has made their choice around schools that are going to have an opportunity. Because I unfortunately don't have an unlimited budget, so it's a small number of schools that are going to be able to get the Broadway shows. But we do have, I think it's 5 schools that have been selected for Betty Boop, Operation Mincemeat, and Buena Vista, and Aladdin is going to be tied into an attendance incentive for the month of May, which identified schools for kids that are in the range of 90% to 100%. They will have an opportunity to, again, in a randomized kind of selection, get a chance to go to see Aladdin with a parent. So a student plus a parent will be able to have access to that in a way to kind of promote the arts. And this funding's actually given me a lot to think about. You know, we've been really bolstering our athletics program, and we do amazing things for the arts, but we don't nearly celebrate it as in a way that we should, and promote it as much. So there will be more to follow on this. I just have to start organizing my thinking around how we build and create district-wide opportunities for our kids to showcase their musical talents, their arts talents, their theater talents. They're often just held in-house in their own schools. And I think it would be really amazing for our parents to also see that showcased on a larger level. So that's something I do have in my mind, and hopefully we can build that out going into next school year. But at any rate, those are some of the things that I was able to get accomplished with the arts dollars that we do have that were made available to me. Just the ELA Sprint initiative, just so that everyone is aware of this. I know it was shared during the previous meeting, but just so for everyone's knowledge, we did do a sprint in grades 3 to 5 and 6 to 8. In relation to iReady, we did encourage our kids to engage in 30 to 50 minutes worth of work throughout the week to support and you know, build them towards preparation for the remainder of the year and promote that space of reading proficiency as a district community. We did see, you know, on average 74 minutes per week in our elementary schools and 49 minutes per week in our middle schools. So I was happy to see that our kids were active and on the program to support their learning needs. Setting the stage for DCEP and CEP, just so that everyone knows, this is the timeline for our comprehensive education plans to be completed. We are right now in the window of root cause analysis, what's going on with our students in our schools, and also starting to plan those preliminary goals are happening right now. So this month in particular, your SLTs should be talking to you about goal setting for next school year. What are we thinking? What went well this year? What does it mean for plans into next school year? And then by June, all schools should have their preliminary goals established, aligned with what the new budget will look like, and ready to go for me to approve in July. So I have to certify alignment of goals to budget by July. So that's the expectation that is made available to us. And this is also around state guidelines, right? So it's not just a city thing. This is about guidelines to making sure that we're aligned with state expectations for education plans. So we are always right on top of this. This is something that is an expectation aside from the state. It's an expectation from me to our building leaders to make sure that we're ready to go for that, along with our SLTs. So what does it mean in terms of planning for next year? This data I did share at the most recent CEC meeting, as well as President's Council meeting. I think it's important for us to linger over this and why I believe it's important for District 25 to really attend to the needs of our English language learners. We have nearly 6,600 plus children in District 25 are children that speak languages other than English. And because of that, it makes up over nearly 28% of District 25 students. And they tend to also be the children that perform the lowest here in District 25. And it's not because of capacity, it's just because they haven't necessarily had enough time learning the English language having the exposure to text at levels that they are able to read in the English language. So it's important for us to continue to elevate and accelerate as much as we possibly can to support the needs of this particular subgroup of learners. And the reason I say that is because we don't get all of them just in kindergarten. All of our L's don't come in just in K. They don't come in just in grade 1. We get our L's across years. So when a child comes to us in grade 3 or 4, absent the English language, it takes that much more for them to become equipped as readers. And for me, I don't want them leaving District 25 and going into high school absent that space. So there's lots of work that we do have to do, and we've been doing a lot this year, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a moment. When we talk about performance, and here's one of the other reasons why. So mid-year iReady, we were at around 48% of our kids on or above grade level. That includes all kids. When we remove our English language learners from that equation, we have nearly 62.4% of our kids that are currently on or above grade level. You can see a huge difference when we're talking about overall children, multiple grade levels below standard, comparatively speaking to all students. And then when you look at our L's, the performance drastically changes in terms of capacity to meet standards when taking an iReady assessment. You can see the large range of children that are 3 or more grade levels below. Most of those children are children that are entering and emerging in our schools. And, it tells a story around why it's important for us to continue to emphasize this particular subgroup of children. Now, what we paid attention to quite significantly this year was around building those decoding skills of our L's. And what you see as a result are lots of positive outcomes from last year this time to this year this time. And now this is the MOY. We'll have new data within the next month that I'll share with you around how our kids performed on the whole by the end of the year. But what we have seen are positive things in relation to the foundational skill development, particularly for our English language learners, which says that we're doing things differently that are impacting in a more positive direction. With all of these things connected to phonics, high frequency words for our early childhood children, nonsense word fluency, which is really around that they can decode when letters are put together that don't really make up a word, but they're able to decode it. It gives us a clue as to that they're able to do that with more fluency, which is really, really good. The trouble that we now see is now that we're building some of those foundational skills is now how do we start elevating their capacity to read that complex text with more fluency so that they can comprehend as learners. So for us as a district, we're seeing that the use of decodables has influenced the positive change. Now it's from the decodables to continue to build in that space where our kids can comprehend what it is that's in front of them. So it's a positive, but also a learning that we have to keep doing that, but also build on it as well as a district community. So where did this bring us? It brings us to 2 spaces for goal setting for priority 1, with all students learn to read well. So this has been revised a bit from the first round of goals based on feedback that I've received from parents and from our building leaders. And so priority 1 is really around strengthening instruction inside of our classrooms, making sure that we're making really strong database decisions and using the instructional resources that we have. And that is Foundations, Hegarty, and the HMH curriculum, so that we're supporting our kids as much as we possibly can. Now, percentages are going to change based on what I see at the end of the year benchmark. I'm going to make some adjustments there for, based on what we learn from our kids. The subgroups in particular that we're attending to here are our Hispanic learners, are our Black learners, are our students with disabilities, just based on past performance of our kids. We do need to continue to elevate and keep our mind's eye on how are we supporting growth for our all student subgroup, for all children, but queuing into kids that we need to make sure are elevating. And then secondly, and just as important, is the focus on our English language learners, that we're elevating their performance levels, particularly on the NICESLAT, which calls for the 4 modalities. If you're not aware of this, our L's get tested on the NICESLAT as well, and it covers 4 components. listening, speaking, reading, and writing in order for our children to either be identified as entering, emerging, transitioning, expanding, or commanding. And what we really want to bolster is the standalone time that our kids get. So our Ls get services for either 4 or 8 periods of instruction, additional instruction from an L provider. If they are an L that is an entering and emerging student, they get 8 periods of instruction. 4 of them are intended to be standalone. What I have found is necessary is that we dig deeper into the standalone instruction, so that when those kids are receiving that additional time, doing a good job of building their language, and that includes foundational skills as well as their ability to read and to write. So that, in a nutshell, is where we are with this. You don't have to answer or give me feedback necessarily today, but I do ask that you go back to these slides and say, Mike, what do you think about? I really do welcome that space of conversation, because it helps us get better at what we're doing. So, please lean into this. These are not, stamped and said this is exactly what it'll be. I do welcome the feedback in these areas, but this is where I'm leading based on what we've learned this year and what we're seeing in terms of performance from our kids. Secondly, priority 2, really want to continue to dig in around implementation of the Mind Up program that we have. What we have seen is that relationships are things that we need to build. And what I've learned throughout the year that we have to add more time in for is the program does have things called conversation starters inside of the program, which allows kids to just have conversations with one another and build those positive relationships. I do think we have to do a better job of that inside of our buildings. So part of the focus around physically and emotionally safe is around the implementation of the social emotional learning program that we have. I think sometimes we have things like community agreements, but they're not used as they should be. So there are going to be more tweaks that we add to the curriculum program that we have for SEL, with the goal of improving those relationships between our kids, especially our middle schoolers, moving into this year. Priority 3 is going to be dedicated to math and implementation of the Amplify curriculum, primarily our grades 6 to 8. And we're going to lean into our kids that are departmentalized as well. But this is a goal mostly for our middle school, so that we're implementing this program as it is intended, with the instructional shifts in mind, to improve outcomes for our learners across the board. Again, these percentages will shift based on what we see for our end year diagnostics and state assessment data as well. This one I love, still has to be teased out, but we've been doing a really good job of growing civics work across the district and promoting student voice. Project Soapbox is evident across every school in District 25, where our kids are able to do some research and take a stand. What my goal is here, all of our kids, by the time they leave 8th grade, have the ability to receive the state seal of civic readiness. And we can and should be able to do that for every single one of our 8th graders here in District 25. So the goal is, in order to do that, our kids have to participate in Project Soapbox and engage in an action project. So for me, that's one of my goals. I think in order for our kids to be civically ready, they need to have these experiences. And what we have added to our CEC meetings, and Catherine has been a part of this, is we've been having our kids come and share their calls to action. And I can't speak for anyone else. I'll just tell you that they're really great. It's really amazing to listen to our youngest of learners. We had a 2nd grader come speak in front of us like an expert, and it's amazing the power that they have in their voices. So this is a space that I want to continue to grow and develop. I think our kids have an amazing opportunity to use their voice, and I want to continue to push that across our schools. And the most recent example of that was at PS 32. They did receive a letter in the mail talking to them about water quality, and students from the student council did a full-on push across the building and they sent letters to the facilities managers across the Department of Education. And what wound up happening is grades 3, 4, and 5 then had an assembly with the leaders of that work to explain to them how it is that they know that the water is safe in their schools and what they need to be able to do to notify them when they feel that there's an area of concern. So it was really, really great, and all based on the power of a student voice. They were able to do that across their school, and that's what we want to promote across every one of our buildings. A couple of questions here around Safer College and things that we might want to see for science and technology. I leave it as a question mark to come back to you with in May. Things that you would want to see us have a goal for when it comes to that. Moving into next month, I ask you guys to reflect on that a little bit. And the last two ones around parent engagement. Any recommendations that you have in regards to parent engagement, things that we should be thinking about as a district. I think we've done a really good job this year of opening our schools, much more than what they've been in the past. Our schools are doing things like open houses, First Fridays, Welcoming Wednesdays, Together Tuesdays, Marvelous Mondays. You name it, our schools have come up with the language for it. And we've seen many more families in our schools because of that. But if there are other things that we would want to see in terms of parent engagement, parent empowerment, progress monitoring, I would love to hear your feedback on that and ways that we can get better. And lastly, to close out, the last goal that we're going to stay attending to is chronic absenteeism. For those of you who have been at any session with me in the past, you know I mentioned this. Our kids can't learn if they're not in school. We have the second highest attendance rate in New York City, the second best chronic absenteeism rate in the city. But even saying that, we still have 18% of our kids that are chronically out. That's way too high of a number. And we have to do a better job of connecting with our families, providing the supports necessary. I can't, say this enough. I'm not telling anyone to have their kids come to school when they're sick. But we're going to continue to work on it to offer the supports for when those are other days that come across, and we choose to keep our kids home instead of having them come to school. But other than that, that's my report for today. Would love any feedback that anyone has on any of these goals. It doesn't have to be today, but I do ask if you wouldn't mind, read through them. Any questions that are raised from you, any wonderings that it brings for you, or anything that you feel that I need to think about differently with the team, our principals and APs, please share, because our schools do take note from me at the district level around how our school goals are going to be created. But so anyone has any questions or feedback for me, I'd love to hear it, and I will stop sharing now. And we can certainly do a round for any of you that would like to share your thoughts.
Hi. I'm coming to you as a teacher's perspective, okay?
Yeah, love
a
it.
teacher and a parent. So
Love
I
it.
personally teach pre-K. And I taught 3K last year. And every day when I do circle time, our transition, we do foundations.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not technically supposed to be done in pre-K, but I will tell you, it makes a huge difference. And if we started in pre-K, by the time we get to kindergarten, we should be that much further ahead in reading.
Yeah, you know what, Stacy? One of the things that we did talk about, they have a version, not so much with foundations. They do have a pre-K version of Heggerty,
Okay.
which is around the phonemic awareness part of foundational skill development that we have been discussing. I do think it's worth us talking a little bit more about at the district level. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because even today, like I did a lesson with my kids about we're in the gardening unit, and we were labeling our drawings, and I said, okay, we're gonna sound out the words. And my kids, when I'm sounding it out, were spelling out the words for me in pre-K, which is what we do in kindergarten. So if we started at the pre-K level, we're hoping that will help, the kids move forward,
Of course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the earlier we can start them, I get it. At pre-K, not every kid is ready. But if we introduce it to them it makes it that much easier
Yeah,
in kindergarten.
I always think about the how we do it, right? Is the how and when we incorporate some of those things. I think the pre-K landscape does create a lot of opportunities, which I do appreciate, for kids to engage in that productive play, and you as a pre-K teacher know how valuable that is too.
Right.
As to make sure that we create that balance of opportunity so that we don't take away from those
So
things that happen with that
right.
social development for our kids in pre-K.
So
Yeah.
the way I started, I'll be honest, is I start with their letters of their friends. Okay, so whatever the first letter of all the kids' names, and that's how they transition off the rug. So it's organic. They're learning their
Yeah.
letters. They're
Mhm.
learning their friends' letters. By, let's say, November, December, then I'll start to add in the rest of the
Yeah.
alphabet. And then by January, I start with the sounds.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I just noted that.
So
Thank you for that.
the earlier we start, the better.
Yep.
The stronger readers we get.
No, yeah, listen, that's what we're here to do, right? Is to build our kids so that they're ready by third grade.
Yeah.
To be reading with fluency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay. That's just my thought as a teacher and a parent.
No, I love it. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Any other thoughts or comments? And again, some of these things you do need to digest. I said a lot in a short period of time. So if there's something that hits you after that, you want to send me an email or bring it up during the next meeting. I would really love to hear your thoughts.
I just want to piggyback a little bit off of the foundations, and then I'm going to say something else about the Flushing House. But
Yeah.
I think that anytime we can give our kids more exposure, I think it's great. But I think that all the way up for kindergarten and first grade, I can't really speak about exactly what's going on in pre-K right now. I know how it was when my daughter was there. But in kindergarten and first grade, the kids are sitting a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They sit for a long time going through the foundations and the Hegarty and the whole ELA lesson. And I would just hate to see more play taken away from the kids because kindergarten has really lost a lot of it.
Yeah. So you know what, Catherine, I think one of the things, and it's important you said that, is that schools have been trying to find those really, really smart, creative ways that they're bringing in those opportunities to get around and move and not have to be, kind of, in that stationary space without having that flexibility. So, you'll see schools now in kind of, bringing in some of those move to improve spaces, or, they'll incorporate, movement into their space where it's a little bit more of that play, and not necessarily, so restrictive in a, one next. And yeah, because we do know that, especially for our little ones, we got to get them moving around a little bit.
Moving around and socializing, learning how to like really get along with each other and be a friend and learn how to work out their differences.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I thought the Flushing House, I was really excited to hear that you are working with them on a bunch of arts initiatives. I think that and I'm really excited about all the stuff that you're bringing in from Broadway too. And I can't wait to hear which schools got picked.
Yeah, just know that I could not do it for everyone.
I know, I heard, my fingers
I could not do it for everyone. It was not a large enough amount of money for me to do it for everyone, but what it does, hopefully allow for, if given another opportunity moving into next year, and kind of maximizing the, what we can do for what my goal was. They just couldn't do it. What I was hoping to do with the money, Catherine, was, create like these larger district opportunities, but they just couldn't. They couldn't offer that. So most of these are, like little spot assemblies that they can do for smaller groups of kids. So it's not going to hit home the way that I was hoping, but it's at least a start to do some fun stuff. But yes, unfortunately, it's not everyone.
No, it's still great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's still great that even some of the kids are getting to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Anyone else? And the last thing I just want to share with you is that we just had at Bell Academy 169 a recruitment fair for District 25. We're going to be hiring quite a bunch more teachers in district. We had 500 registrants and a waiting list of about 170 for this event, and it was really great. Our building leaders were able to connect with candidates from a wide range of certification areas, from special education, the arts, sciences, math. So for me, and I said this during the CEC meeting, that once we got the word that schools were going to be needing more folks, we kind of, it gave me the green light to get moving. And in short order, we were able to put together a recruitment fair, and it was so very well attended and well received by those that went, meaning the folks that went to as candidates, but also our building leaders were really excited to have that opportunity. So just to give you guys a little bit of knowledge that we did do that, and we're hopeful that because of that, the relationships that were built initially will result in follow-up interviews and demo lessons, so that we have the best teachers that we possibly can have in front of our kids going into September. So just so that everyone knows that we did do that, and it was quite a big success. And that concludes my shtick.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mike. I just want to let you know, at one point we did meet quorum, but then one parent has another meeting to attend, so she left. Okay, let me share my presentation. Catherine, do you see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so do you want to introduce the D25 DPAC chair members or
Yes.
district members?
Sure. So I am Catherine St. Pierre, and I am the chairperson for the DPAC. And we actually have a vacancy as the I moved up from being the alternate when our chairperson unfortunately had to resign, so that left the vacancy in my seat. So if anybody would like to volunteer for the next 2 months for that position, that would be greatly appreciated. And we also have Crystal Gonzalez as our secretary.
Okay, so today's meeting is also where we're gonna review. We review it under our March meeting, DPAC meeting. We have to the DPAC bylaws need to be reviewed on an annual basis, and this one has not been reviewed for a while. So today we're going to meet and review it and make amendments and vote on it. But since we don't meet quorum, we can still review it, and then we will bring it up on our next meeting to be voted on. I'm gonna bring it up to all of you. This will also be shared with everyone once it's reached consensus and signed by our DPAC chairperson, Catherine, which is Catherine. So on our last month's meeting, I was able to share this same bylaws with everyone and have everyone review it to see if there's any changes that needs to be made. Catherine and I also met. The only change that we would like to do is, let me find it. So this is a 2 years term. So whoever who get elected elected next time on our 2025-2026 school year will be sitting here for 2 years. Catherine were replaced by Mr. Mitchell, who unfortunately couldn't join us. So Catherine moved from alternate to the chairperson, but she's finishing Mr. Mitchell's term, which will be June 2025. One of the amendments that we were going to do is change the quorum from 8 members to 5 members. Since we do not meet quorum today, we will bring it up again on our May DPAC meeting. Once this has reached consensus, Catherine will sign and we will date it and share with all our Title I PAC members. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm gonna move on to my next slide. These are all our Title I schools. We have at this point 26 Title I schools, and we are a total of 34 schools in our district, where 2 of them are being our pre-K centers. I'm gonna provide a little bit update on the CEC elections. In the past few weeks, we have been having candidate forums where parents can meet the candidates who are running for the CEC. Right now, we are at the CEC voting timeline where parents can join the next account. I mean, go to the next account and be placing their votes. You have up to 3 votes. I have used my own account to show you, for an example, how to choose your candidate. Hold on, I will go back to this one. So all votes can only go through the Nexa account. This is the only platform that's been used to the CEC voting. Once you sign in, you will see the students who are your children who are linked to your account. In my case, I have 2 linked to my account, Alec and Jaden. On the bottom right side, you will see the gray box says vote for CEC. When I click on that, it gives me 2 options. So I have Jaden who attends high school, and I have Alec who attends a middle school in District 26. So I have the options to vote for citywide council on high schools, and I have the eligibility to vote for Communities Education Council for District 26 though. So let's play around. I click on Alec Chen, who attends the middle school in District 26. When I click on the under Alec, I see a bunch of names, which are all the candidates who are running for the CEC campaign. These folks have already been vetted and gone through the CEC forum, which were held on their President's Council's meeting, where you can meet them. They will ask a series of questions where you can have an idea who they are, because these people would be the voice of your child's school. So you want to make sure you place the right vote. To play around, I chose the first 3 names just to see how the next page will look like. When I chose the 4th one, it didn't allow me. A red box was, showing me that I couldn't pick more than 3 candidates. So once I picked the 3 candidates, I just hit submit. So this is not hard. This is actually very easy. The hardest part for me will be, who do I vote for? So if you have any, doubts who you can vote for or who you will vote for, there's a link on the DOE's website. I will share this link with you. On this DOE's website, they have listed all the CEC from CEC 1 to all the way to CEC, I believe 32. So if you want to watch our candidates who are running for this CEC 25, you just go back to CEC 25. You can watch the recordings. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Let me stop sharing because I can't see when I'm presenting. It's all like, I can't see. Does anyone have any questions about the CEC voting part? So it started on April 25th, and the last day to vote for your CEC candidate is May 13th. That's the last day to vote for your CEC candidates. And again, these parents will be the parent leaders of your school, and they will be presenting your voice. Catherine is also one of our CEC parent on District 25. And she's also my DPAC chairperson. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, upcoming meetings. So CEC meetings, as I mentioned before, CEC members, they have monthly meetings with the superintendent. The next meeting will be Wednesday, May 7, 2025. It is an in-person meeting for all CEC members. They need to be in person to be counted in the quorum. Parents or anyone can join the meeting online. There's a hybrid link on our website, which is d25.nyc. On this link, on this website, you can find all our public meetings, dates, and link to all the meetings. Same thing with the President's Council, same link. You will find all our President's Council's meeting. The next one will be May 19th, and it is a virtual meeting. DPAC meeting, our meeting, the next meeting will be held on Thursday, May 29 at 6 o'clock. And I create this flyer, and this flyer will be sent out to all the parent coordinator who would then share with all their DPAC members. These are our DOE vendors who've been working with schools when it comes to Title I 1% set aside plan. When parents have, would struggle and don't know how to spend that 1% set aside Title I fund, we have invited a few of them to attend our monthly meetings, so you will be able to meet them and learn more about their programs. Most of the programs are aligned with our CP goals. The last visit or guest speaker we have on our meeting was from Turbobo, Ryan Meal. He's the founder of Turbobo, and Turbobo is also his program is aligned with SEL, which is social emotional learning. And he presented what he does with this toy. It is actually a big giant toy who weighs, I don't know, 5 pounds or 10 pounds. And it calms you down. So a lot of schools have, decided to buy this Turbobo for their students because this is very calming for those who, struggles with anxiety and other stuff. Next meeting would then be Thursday, May 29 at 6 p.m. And we have been alternating between Thursdays and Wednesdays, to make it flexible for everyone to meet. Did I share my, hold on. Let me stop sharing. Or did I not share at all? I didn't share at all.
That's okay. It stopped. It was showing, and then I don't know what happened.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Jenny. There's a question in the chat about being able to sort the CEC candidates by school. Is that an option on the?
It's not. It's by district. It's not by school. It's by district, and all the names are listed in alphabetical order by last name. Yeah, I can show the website again if anyone are interested. So to find the CEC candidate, let me share my screen this time. I did not realize that I didn't share the screen. Okay, so on the DOE's website, I had the link inserted in our PowerPoint, but if you type in CEC, it will pop up CEC councils. If I go a few steps back, it will bring me to the candidates, I believe, here, citywide. Let's go to CEC council. There's a link where you can view all the candidates. Queens, let's go to Queens, 25. Oh, these are our current CEC members. But there is a way to view all the CEC, CEC members who are running. I just need to find the right link. Oh. I'm gonna stop sharing for now. If you use my PowerPoint and click on that link, that will bring you up to the recordings. It has 2 links. One link was for the recordings. The other link was to view all the candidates. Now we just need folks to vote. The voting period ends on May 13. I think I forgot to show one slide. Let me show one more slide, which was from today's data. Hold on. Just one more slide and then I'll promise I'll be done. So this was from today. Does everyone see my screen? Did I share my PowerPoint?
Yes, we can see it.
You can see
Yeah,
it, Jenny.
this was from this morning, actually. It was shared from Face this morning, which is the people behind the CEC elections. The blue color is from 2 years ago. So as you know, CEC election goes every other year. So, and these are the dates for April. So the first one is April 25, and then 26, 27, 28, 29. On April 28, we see a huge bump on the orange color, which is 2025. So they were, they were thanking all the schools, they were thanking all the principals and the parent coordinator who were sharing and doing their outreach, because this number means a lot to them. So just want to share the good news with everyone. Let me stop sharing. That's it from my end. Does anyone have any questions? Did we meet quorum? No, we did not. That means we have to bring up the bylaws amendments for our May meeting. And I'm gonna table the minutes again for the May meeting. Dr. Mike, you want to say anything?
No, just saying I'm a highly competitive guy and I want to make sure that, we get out there and vote so that we represent the way that District 25 should. Always at the top of the heap.
Oh, let's talk about our voting party at PS 32. So each district are asked to have a voting party to make it festive. When voting, you also want to make it fun, right? Like how we normally vote for the presidency. So each district are asked to have a voting party. We're gonna have our at PS 32. The date is May 12th, so please keep an eye on the flyer. It's gonna be sent out very, very soon. And we're gonna make it fun. We're gonna have some photo props and have those I voted stickers. And Faye's gonna come and support us. So please keep an eye out on the flyer. That's it from me. Thank you, Arati. Arati is from PS 21. I worked with Arati for many, many years. She just put a text in the chat. Thank you for supporting and thank you for pushing. Catherine, do you have any comments? Do you want to add anything? Did I forget anything?
No, I think you covered everything, Jenny. Everything.
All right.
Yeah.
Again, I apologize for not sharing the screen before, but again, I will share these PowerPoints with you. It will be on D25's website under DPAC and under shared documents. So it should be, accessible for everyone. And I thank you for everyone for attending today's meeting and for being a part of the DPAC. So thank you so much. And we're gonna adjourn the meeting. It is 7:01.
Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Great job.